Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a little flip through for you today. This is my completed journal for By Invitation Only from Bythewell4god. And I have done a couple of process videos, not a whole lot actually for this month, but I will link the playlist in the description box if you're interested in seeing how the journal came together. I created a little envelope journal because we're doing, a wedding theme kind of invitation idea here. I have some Tim Holtz book corners here. And the only thing that I have done different from when I set this up is I added this little piece right here on the spine just for some interest. I thought it just looked nice over there. This is actually from an old piece of jewelry that I just recently came across, and so I thought it would be fun to add that. So I have my little closure here. I added my kit sticker in the front with the date just so that I remember when we worked through this particular devotional. And so just jumping in, I have day one here. I used a frame. I actually got this frame from a Hobby Lobby ephemera pack. I can't remember the name of the ephemera pack, but it just went well with this kit this month. And I have a little bit of that cheesecloth. This is like the natural unbleached cheesecloth, and then one of the ephemera pieces here. And then basically all of my, all of the days of the devotional, I have the title starter sticker up here, and then I've used the ephemera pieces and different things for the closures, and then all of my notes, including the verse cards that coordinated with that day. Sometimes I wrote verses on the back or notes on the back of them. I have journaling cards in here, and then I also have the flashcards tucked in here as well. All of those notes and everything are just tucked inside the envelope, and then the little ephemera pieces keep them all closed. So that part is all the same. I did decorate the backs of them just a little bit, but the idea is the same. So I won't open up all of the envelopes, but you can see pictures of that on Instagram if you're not following me over there. My Minders78. But then moving on, I had this beautiful piece of green lace that came in an old kit that I got, and so I just thought it was really fun, and I love how it kind of just hangs over the edge. I really like the tactile piece of this. And then I have a journaling card, or one of the verse cards. I have the flash card, and then I used the clear stickers, actually, the ones that kind of look like the gold, just kind of line art, and I actually put these on vellum and then glued them down. So you can see I can actually pick that up because it's not sticky on the back, but it just gave it enough of a backing but still kept that transparent feel to it, and I really love how that turned out. And then I used that gold gel pen that was in the extras for last month, and I went around the border, and then I also went around this inside just to kind of frame out this little section right here. And then I included one of the flashcards that went with this for that month. And then again, have an ephemera piece. I have the title starter, and then the little closure for that month. And then for this day, this is day 3, I used one of the stencils in the background, and then I embossed with some purple metallic embossing powder that I had, this stamp, which I just really love. I don't know if you can really pick up on the purple metallic. You can see it in person, but I think it's a little bit harder to see. I have one of these film strips. This is actually a 49 in Market piece. And then I created this envelope. This is actually a little bit bigger than the little mini envelopes that they released this month. But I wanted it to fit this piece. This is actually the kit stamp. I stamped this on to some parchment paper, and I used that same metallic. And so, and then I just kind of cut down the section so that it would fit and it looked like it was coming out of this envelope. But this is actually an envelope that I used with the envelope pinch board from We Are Memory Keepers, just a little bit bigger. And then just a piece of the pattern paper here in the back. And then this is one of the clear stickers, put it on white paper and cut that out as well. And then again, you can see ephemera piece, sticker, and then it just tucks down behind there. This is day 4. I had this old vintage doily. It's kind of been coffee dyed, I think. And I used this back behind one of these verse cards, or not verse cards, excuse me, journaling cards. These are one of the freebies that came with the kit. I have one of the washi strips that has that beautiful lace pattern on there. And then I used the hem stamp in the background, really just kind of subtle. I didn't go for a perfect impression. I just kind of wanted the hint of that back there. And then around the edge of this envelope and around the edge of this, I have some foundry wax. And I really love how that page turned out. And then of course, one of the ephemera pieces. And again, same kind of situation here with, you know, this was actually cut from one of the pattern papers. I just trimmed this down so that it would fit as a closure for this. And then for this page, I actually used just a plain page of cardstock that I had. It's a white core cardstock, so that when I used Tim Holtz die on here, the doily die, it would raise it up and it caused the white core to shine through. And then I actually went through a little bit with a sander and just kind of really brought that white out so you could see the dimension of the doily. You kind of lose a lot of it behind the scripture card here, but I just liked the texture and the feel of that. So I used one of the scripture cards on the front for this month, and then the rest of my notes and everything are in here. There's quite a lot of them in there. This one is pretty thick. Again, one of the kit stickers, just a clear sticker on the back there. And then for this day, I used one of the pattern papers in the very back. And then this is actually hymnal paper that I cut using a Tim Holtz die. And I have one of the beautiful journaling cards. I love these journaling cards that came out this month. It's so beautiful. And then one of the ephemera pieces. And I just colored this a little bit with a really light colored Tombow just to knock back all the white without having to get in there and really fussy cut everything down, because all of my envelopes are like a cream color. I didn't want the white standing out if there was really no other like really bright white on the page, if that makes sense. And so this is just the day, kind of the idea for this day. It was called Christ is Necessary. And then I have some clear stickers, and then one of those faux wax seal stickers. I put that on sticker paper, excuse me, not on sticker paper, on white cardstock, and then I cut it out so that it could stay on there. This day, I believe there's the video for this day. This is the one that was my Hubby Dubs video. And I used a lot of foundry wax on this page too. So I have the stenciled image over the pattern paper. I love how that looked. And then I wanted to kind of give it more of just a little bit of a distressed look to it. So I took the foundry wax and just kind of, you know, lightly brushed over the top of it in areas. And then I did the foundry wax around this piece too. Here's another sticker that I did on a clear sticker that I put onto some vellum just to keep that transparent aspect to it. I have some of that unbleached cheesecloth, and then those little mini labels, and I used one of the stamps that released this month as well. I really love how that page turned out. And then I used one of the ephemera pieces here. I did trim it down, kind of fussy cut it. And then again, I used a really light colored Tombow just to kind of color that in. I actually have it. It's 990 is the number that I used, just to take off some of that white, and it just matched with the color of my envelopes. So and then for this day, I actually took a couple pieces of, these were scraps from the pattern paper that I had. Again, I used one of the scripture cards, the verse cards that released. I have a couple of the ephemera pieces, and then one of the little die cut pieces. And then this one, again, has foundry wax around the outside just to give it some more interest. I really love how foundry wax looks on these kinds of things. Again, another little faux wax seal there. For this day, I added some stenciling in the background with that lovely lace stencil. Just adds such a beautiful touch in the background. And then I have that strip of that faux washi that looks like kind of lace, one of the verse cards, and then a couple pieces from the ephemera. And then I just tied a little bit of string on this one little tag. And then this day, this is actually a handmade paper that I received. This is that same doily impression from that embossing folder from Tim Holtz. But this paper was sent to me this way from In Faith Inspirations. And I love, it's a handmade paper, so it just has this really great texture to it. And then I used one of the little envelopes that released with this kit this month. I have one of the ephemera pieces back here, and then I actually like how this looks when it's opened, but for now I have it closed, and then I just have a flash card tucked in there. And then this is one of the little mini stickers. And then I used one of the stickers that looked like a postage stamp, and I was trying to trim it, and I messed up, so then I ended up just cutting it out to a square. I was trying to use a hole punch and get the little postage edge on it, and I used the wrong size punch. And so anyway, I just ended up trimming it down to that. I use this one in particular because of this verse is in this devotional day. So for this day, again, I used one of those frames that I had from a Hobby Lobby set. And then it's just a simple piece of pattern paper in the background, some more of that unbleached cheesecloth, one of the little labels, and then the beautiful sticker. I love that page of stickers that had the verses on it. There's something about the font, it was just so beautiful. So, and then of course, this is that Bible reference there. And then all my notes are in here. Another ephemera piece. I just added a little sticker to that. This day is actually the second part from when I did this page. Because I had I had my texture paste out and everything. I had my stencil out and everything, making a mess already. So I just took a couple of pieces of scrapbook of this pattern paper and did this on both pages. I wasn't sure which one I was going to like more for this day. And so I ended up just doing the same exact thing, except I did not add foundry wax to this background. This is just the stencil. I had a lot of stencil, the light and fluffy modeling paste left over. I had colored it with some paint, and so I didn't want any of that to go to waste, so I just did it on a second page. Again, I have one of the verse cards, and then I used one of the little pieces of fabric that I just tore down and created this little faux ruffle just to kind of break up the edge there just a little bit. And then I added a piece on the background, and this piece of fabric actually functions as the closure for that day. And then on this day, I have one of the pattern papers in the back. This is one of the little mini envelopes that was released this month. And then I have that kit stamp again that's basically that invitation. This is that same piece from earlier here. Again, because I already had my stamp positioning tool out. I already had my paper and I had my purple embossing powder. I just went ahead and made two of them. So, but what I did with this one is I actually folded it back on itself so that I could get this part right here where it says Revelation 22:17, because this is the main kind of focus for that day. And then it just kind of reminds me of, things just getting folded up in the mail. Obviously, this is not going to fit in this envelope. So, I just went ahead and kind of hinted at it without really trying to fit it. Whereas on the other day, I actually made an envelope that would fit the size of that stamped image. And then this clear sticker here also had, actually, I think that was the stamp. One of the stamps. I stamped it on the pattern paper, but again, I used this specifically because it references Revelation 22:17, which is one of the verses for this month. Just all those little kind of nods to everything. I just wanted to include that all together. And then again, that same little closure here. And then the very last page was this hymnal paper that came with the kit. And then I have just a doily here on the back. Again, these beautiful journaling cards, which I just used. I obviously use them as journaling cards in my notes, but I couldn't help but include some on the front because they were just so beautiful. So then I have a couple of the die cut pieces, and again, I went in and knocked that white back with that same Tombow, and then I added one more little ephemera piece up here just because I felt like it was a little out of balance. And then this doily actually wraps around up the bottom. I added a bunch of little mini stickers here just to kind of give this some interest, and then my doily actually functions as the closure for this day. And you can see I just have all of my notes and flashcards and everything tucked in there. So that will just stay. I have this basically glued all the way up to this area right here, so it's going to keep this down and I don't really have to worry about that. So and with that, that's everything. I was going to put some beads on here. I wanted to add some like faux pearls, but I didn't have any that had a wide enough opening that I could get the ribbon through there. So I just have this closure to tie, and that's it. So anyway, if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, bye.